Tom Downey here for Chat Sports. Take a look at some 2022 NFL Draft sleepers. Guys who could surprise and sneak into round one. Happens every single year. There's a player or two or three or four who stun and sneak into round one. And we're starting with the guy that big media screwed me on, Quay Walker. I built this video like 2 weeks ago. And then NFL Network mentioned this, and I kind of lost some of my buzz there. But Quay Walker has been getting round one buzz, and I would not be surprised if he got drafted over Nakobe Dean, who I think is a better football player. But Quay Walker, he's got better measurables, almost 6'4", 241, really great athletic testing. I did not see a big play guy on film. He wasn't a big-time, taking the football away, only 3 career pass breakups, but he's solid in coverage. So I think top 40 is where he ends up going. Do not be surprised if he goes round one this year. Travis Jones, the UConn, what about UConn here? Defensive tackle next up. Now, had it not been for Jordan Davis, I think we would be talking a lot more about Travis Jones because he was awesome at the Combine. Another one of these more one-technique, nose guard style guys, opted out of 2020, comes in 2021, plays well. Look at this testing. 6'4" and change, 325, a 4.9 240. It is terrifying to see a 325-pound man running a sub 5-second 40-yard dash. Had a great broad as well. Again, this is the relative athletic scores. 4.92 for a 225-pound guy, it's not very good. For a 325-pound guy, that is terrifying. Great arm length, by the way, 34 1/4 inches there. His production was better than Jordan Davis's. Now, don't get me wrong, I have Jordan Davis higher because better athlete. There was more rotation at Georgia. But Jones had a better pressure rate, more tackles for loss, and more sacks at UConn. Of course, he's not playing the same level of competition. I was surprised to see how well he tested at the Combine, but that is a very big deal for the NFL Draft. And teams like big guys who move well, it'd be a surprise while we're doing sleepers and surprises here. I could see Jones being a nice little surprise late round one pick. I would be very surprised if he didn't go top 50. So who is your round one NFL Draft sleeper? What player or players, if you're feeling aggressive today, do you think could surprise you and sneak into the back end of round one? I'm going to make this question the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and drop a name for me. A lot of receivers we go with here, George Pickens included, but I'm going to go with Skyy Moore. I think there could be a run on wide receivers. The big five we've talked about, Jahan Dotson and maybe Skyy Moore. The production in film was awesome. The very popular comp, and it's a good one, that's why it's so popular, is Golden Tate. He needs to get better against press, and his route running is a bit rough, but his releases off the line of scrimmage is actually really impressive. Good hands, great production after the catch. Isn't the biggest guy, might be a slot guy to begin, but I think Skyy Moore is going to have a very long and successful NFL career. And the name I didn't really include here was Christian Watson. This one is a bit too obvious. A lot of mock drafts have him in round one because he's big and he's fast. And NFL teams tend to love those guys, even though I've got Skyy Moore ahead of Christian Watson on my own rankings because I think Moore is a better player right now. Yeah, Watson's got the height, weight, speed. He's got drop issues and frankly is not a polished player right now, but I get it. The upside is incredible if he ends up hitting. Now, we all know Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett are going to go round one. Will there be a third or fourth QB who ends up going in the first round? Some recent buzz, or I should say reemergence of buzz, for Desmond Ridder. That certainly makes sense from that standpoint. He's had some round one hype. I like him quite a bit. Sam Howell was a preseason round one pick, but he wasn't as good this year. Matt Corral has been, injuries are a factor. He's just been kind of quiet in terms of round one hype. There was some brief Carson Strong stuff, but I don't think the medicals checked out very well. So I could see one of these QBs, probably one of those first three guys more so than Strong, going in round one, but just not a great class here. So what do you guys think? I'm going to set the over-under 2.5 QBs taken in round 1. Will this pick it, and will there be a third? Type O for over, a.k.a. more than 2.5 QBs, or type in U for under. There will only be those 2 QBs taken in round 1. Let's talk Tyler Smith, and a lot of these guys fall in the same bucket, right? Traits, but. And Tyler Smith has awesome traits. He's almost 6'5", 324, long arms, really great athletic ability. If he hits, if he develops, he could be a top-tier left tackle. And he's only just now turning 21. The problem is his technique, to be blunt, sucks. He does not move his feet. He just hugs guys. At times, he defaults to, I'm going to hug and hold you. He got penalized like 12 times at college football. They don't throw holding flags that often in the college football game. So that is a huge red flag. You almost have to sit him for a year and rebuild him. If he hits, franchise left tackle. Or he's Greg Robinson minus the off-the-field stuff. So a lot of boom or bust here. But given how much teams need offensive tackles, he could go early this year. The NFL Draft has announced their hats. The NFL has for this year's draft, right? A lot of interesting styles in recent years, and some of these hats are awesome. Some of them are not, but they're going to be what your first-round pick for whatever team you cheer for, what they're going to wear. So go get one today. Chatsports.com/NFL Draft. Hit the blackout. Looks great. The red on blue, it works. The white on white, I'm not so sold on that one. There's a lot of different styles. They've got the flat brim, the rounded, the adjustable, the snapback. They've got a lot of styles out there. So check them out. Chatsports.com/NFL Draft Hat. That link will be in the comment section and in the description. You can always count on one edge rusher going in late round 1, at least the surprise guy. 3 names to watch here who've had some semblance to an extent of quiet round 1 hype. Logan Hall from Houston, Arnold Ebiketie from Penn State, and Boye Mafe from Minnesota. Now, Hall's got better tackle for loss production. He's kind of a tweener of a defensive end versus defensive tackle. His teammate Peyton Turner went in round 1 last year, which I think is important to take note of, that NFL teams are willing to take those Houston Cougars in round 1. Arnold Ebiketie is actually my favorite one of the grouping here because I think he's just a better football player. He tested really well. Boye Mafe is your upside pick. Not the best production, but he is a freak athlete from that perspective. So keep an eye on those 3 names. Think of it as almost your David Ajabo replacement, given the opening there at the back end of round 1 with his unfortunate injury. Now, you'll know the surprise round 1 picks when we know them, because as soon as the pick comes in and we get it, we go to it. Past years, we've been at points 3 picks ahead of the major networks because we'll tip them. We don't need to wait. So if you haven't already, subscribe. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV will be live for the entire 2022 NFL Draft. Next up is Kyler Gordon, the other Washington corner. Pre-Combine, I had mentioned him as, this guy could wow at the Combine, be a surprise round 1 pick, and it would sneak in. Now, at the Combine, he only ran the 40-yard dash. 4.52, we're like, wow, that is disappointing. We wanted more. And then he didn't do any of his other stuff. Well, at this pro day, there was the athletic testing we thought there was going to be. Awesome vert, awesome broad, awesome agilities, 9.69 out of 10. That is very nice. I like McDuffie more. I've got other corners above Kyler Gordon because I think he's more athlete and upside than he is proven reliable, although he did fare pretty well on a Huskies team that, well, the offense sucked and teams didn't have to throw it that much on them. But I got him over second, third round grade on him. Teams love athletic ability. Keep an eye on Gordon being a shocker in round 1. How about Lewis Cine, the Georgia safety, as safety 2 this year over Dax Hill? I've got Hill higher, but Cine can play free safety, did it more than Hill did this past year at Michigan, and to almost a reckless extent is willing and able to throw his body around. His testing at the Combine, a common theme today, really good athletic testing. He can play in the box because he's a good tackler, is willing to hit. I think his instincts were almost better than his athletic testing, so that shows you how high I think of him there. I don't like him that much in man-to-man. I like him better in zone coverage. If you want that single high free safety, this is your type of prospect. So which side of the ball do you think ends up with more round 1 picks? Always a pretty close race, unsurprisingly. Type in O for offense and D for defense. Here's my really shocking one. And I would be very surprised, but I could see it. Cam Jurgens. You're going, who the hell is that guy, Tom? Exactly. The center from Nebraska, I think, is a poor man's Tyler Linderbaum from a play style standpoint. They're both a bit undersized. They both don't have the best athletic testing, all that kind of stuff. But he has longer arms and wowed at the combine. I will say this. I thought that the play of Cameron Jurgens was not great. I think it would be a reach if he went in round 1. But I saw Daniel Jeremiah mention it earlier than expected. I think the NFL is higher on Cam Jurgens than us media people are. So I would be surprised. That's the point of this, though. What if Linderbaum and his tiny arms isn't the first center off the board? I would rip it. And I'll be live. We'll be live here at Chat Sports for this year's NFL Draft. Every single day, every single pick, we've got you guys covered. So if you haven't already, subscribe. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV.